right now, and I don't really think it matters where we are or what we're doing. It's one of those things that at the moment Mercury's going retrograde. We're going to have Mercury going retrograde in the house of Gemini. We're going to have the Sun in Gemini, Venus in Gemini. It is highly social, but moving into the eclipse, you're probably going to feel a little bit icky. So I'll see if anyone's awake and we'll have a bit of a chat about it, because I always notice this every transit. And, I've been on this ascension path and I continue to be on this ascension path for God knows how long, which is super not fun. But I have developed some tools that I use to keep myself grounded. And that is that of what we do have control over and what we don't have control over. And it's a really good time to check what's spiritually coming up. You really can't ignore it. But you also, in ignoring it, it's just going to keep coming up. So, if you have to look at it, do look at it, but really try and get grounded. Go into the garden and do something that's productive. I mean, we all talk about this. We all talk about the fact that when we're nervous, focus on service, which is really get active. Go and eliminate some of that sacral chakra, that tension, that energy. Do it in a productive way, because we can accidentally, and I did mention this, the other videos are going to be open tonight. I've just got to edit the analytics on them. They are ready to go. But if I open them up, they won't get circulated if I don't have the information in the video. So, what I do notice each transit, and this has been one of the perplexing things about being YILDIZ readings, is the vibration of people. And it's not that I have an issue with that, but it dips and flows. We get attracted to one paradigm of content, and then we can go off one paradigm of content. And it usually is because we're purging and because we are going through a hard cycle, which has absolutely nothing to do with the content. So it's kind of pointless, if you get my gist, changing it. The one thing I would say is during this eclipse, it's spiritual. It's your hopes and dreams and aspirations. It's wanting growth, wanting change. Your nervous system can be affected. So what I tend to do, like I said, is do some gardening. I go out into the garden, be it's that you want to walk. You need to deplete some of that energy. If you... That'd be right. I always get these bloody phone calls when I'm going live. I tell you, it's because I've got Mercury in my chart. That's going to be activated with this eclipse. It's like, yes, here we go, YILDIZ. So, I tend to get very productive. And this is a really great day to clean. Hi. So, moving into an eclipse, you want the intent of the new energy to come in. So to clean your house, we've got Mars and Cancer at the moment. So to clean your house, you're going to attract that abundance coming in. So really, getting rid of anything you don't need, cleaning it out pre-eclipse, and which is going to give you a little bit of a workout as well. So it's, if you've got nothing to do and you don't have, a full schedule, so to speak, and you are homebound, it's a really good time to really clear the deck, clean your house, get ready for that eclipse, and it's going to keep you busy instead of really focusing on the nervous energy. The thing with psychic energy and psychic attacks, it tends to come through a lot heavier when you're sitting. Okay, when you're busy and you're moving, you'll find it won't be as heavy. But if you are just sitting dormant, you're going to get so much agitation, because you will feel it building in you. And it's sacral chakra build up, it's psychic downloads, it's the frequency of that of what is out of your control. And like I always say, guys, it's about actually focusing right now on what is in your control. And don't go into those false fulfilling prophecies that, oh, okay, it's Mercury retrograde, people from the past coming back. Be open to the blessings of what's meant for you. And don't think that, one of the bugbears of my channel, unfortunately, is the fact that I'm a union, and I really don't think it benefits me. I do coach a lot of twins. And it all comes down to self-belief. I'm by no means special. There are hundreds of twins together. So, be it, if it's intended for you, I had no real attachment to, was I going to be with the person? I wasn't angry anymore. And I think the anger part is the real tough part to ditch, to be quite honest. It's because you're spiritually purging the things, and especially during this eclipse, You're purging the dreams you wanted. You're purging the growth, what was going to be. But while you're fixated on believing that that person can't change, look, be it you just want to look at it from an energy point of view. If you are doing such, it's your beliefs. Okay, it's got nothing to do with the reality of the situation. From an energy point of view, longer I've been on this journey, the more I have realized that the whole journey is manifestation. The whole journey. So there was times when I was looking at certain readers. There's one and she talks about manifestation. I wholeheartedly, truly believe that. My energy would always match that of what I believed. So we really need to dig deep and have a good look at ourselves and think about what we're thinking right now. Whenever I was tuning into my person and thinking everything would be stagnant, it was very much stagnant. But when I did do the mirror work and I was writing down on my side of the fence, you know, where I felt he was stuck, and then I had to step back for a moment and come back and then see if there was a mirrored effect. 9 times out of 10, there was something in my life that I felt either imprisoned with, I felt resent towards, and there can be bitterness and resentment coming up at the moment. It's a bitter pill to swallow, okay? So sometimes we can go into runner mode. Sometimes we can get ourselves in circumstances that we'd really not like to be. And then we do feel, and we can, and I'm probably going to get myself into bloody trouble doing this during the Sagittarius eclipse because values are really ripe and strong. So this is food for thought. This isn't a dictatorship. This is food for thought from my experiences and my coaching with the ones that are moving into union at the moment, what they've done and what I did on my journey. I by far have had a perfect path. It has been hell on earth. I will not know truth of a lie. It has been very tough on both of us. It's been a real long path to get to where we are now, which we... the balancing and the communication is a million times better. It's so far and beyond of what it used to be. But I actually realized the work that we had to do, I physically may not have been able to do that with him at that time. And I don't think he would have been able to do that either. So don't think and put pressure on yourself to do with what psychic mediums say or astrologers. And, you know, it's great to have a notion and an opening that somebody from the past is coming back, but you've got to check whether you guys are actually open to it and if you feel safe with that. And you're always safe because we always do have the power to say this is or isn't for me. And I think that was one of the hard parts for me. I remember I was talking to Shelley one day, and the question was posed to me, you know, how would you feel if that happened now? And I almost jumped out of my skin and I was petrified, to be quite honest, because I obviously had a little bit more fear that I was working on. And I had to integrate that and actually look at the fact that I was incredibly safe, that I was the driver in that seat and I could allow or disallow whatever I chose to, and that was my power. And it does come to a point in your ascension, you actually look at the sense of responsibility, and you do try and make, I mean, theoretically, if this was our only life, which being psychic, I don't believe that, but I'm going to honor the life I have in this lifetime right now. My intent was that although I was going through ascension, I was going to live the best possible life out. And if that meant I was going on holidays, I was going to make plans like, you know, there are blessings. We don't see the blessings that we have sometimes because we can at times feel that angst, loss of the person. We may be missing them. But we also need to realize if we're feeling that, more than likely they're feeling the same way. But it's due to the fact it's outside of our control. So there's this mourning cycle that we go through when we are missing those people, but it doesn't mean that things aren't changing. I think the hard part is when we do talk about the aspects in astrology and people moving towards us, we can tend to put pressure on ourselves. And again, because this is quite a big eclipse, it does have a lot of abundance surrounding it. But we are going to be having a lot of planets retrograde. And the tough part is because we currently have Mars in Cancer, it's really amplifying that agitation. Hi, Tammy. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys because I did, you know, now and then I'll post things of what come to me connected to the twin flame path. And I put a a video up, and it was, oh, what's his name? Anyway, it's in the community tab. But there was a certain person that said no comment. And it's like, you know, look at the shadow. I mean, number one, this is a twin flame channel. This was requested to be a twin flame channel. So, you know, we need to look at the reality that, yes, we can guide and we can do all we can. You get my gist? It's like, you know, that's what my role is. My role is to bring you the psychic downloads. It's also to give you the tips and tools how to handle the energy. I caught you in the bath. We'll have a bath, Dale. But yeah, do some gardening. Keep busy. Get your houses clean. Go and socialise a little bit. Even if it's just to go for a walk, just do something at the moment to keep yourselves busy. And then rest, you know, because moving into the eclipse, you can get agitated, but you're going to have to burn the energy off. Otherwise, it's going to come out and it's going to blow up and we're going to project towards people. It's a hard time, you know, and I have been so where you guys have been. I had days where in a purgatory experience, I was on the floor all the time. I had days where, you know, I would make sure I'd done that purge well and truly before I jumped on YouTube. And really, when I did have the breakup in the first one, I was on YouTube, and he's calling me again. I love you, doll, but I'm going to have to call you back. The thing was, I didn't show a lot of the purging because I didn't share that. I didn't feel the juju of my emotion, and taking you guys down the rabbit hole was really going to benefit you. But just like you, I go through exactly the same thing. And even those that are in union, which I will actually try at some point to have a chat to a couple of the YouTubers that are on here that are both twin flames, and some of my clients that are in union, and I'll try and get them on here so we can have a candid conversation. You know, by no means are we, what would I say, special? You know, it's just certain groups will have different ways in which they come together. Some will remain in contact. Some it will be complete stagnancy. When I mean that, I mean total separation, no communication. But I've had 7 years to no communication. The astrology right now, the way it's based, it doesn't aspect like that anymore. They're not going to be big logs the way it was before. There's more movement happening within the astrology. Somebody said to me, they came across an old video the other day. How to handle what? First house. I got Cancer first house too. It's let go. Just, you know, it doesn't matter what cycle you are. What I want you guys to know is you are on the right path. It's energy. Okay? So it's energy. Breathe it through. I mean, by no means do I want to trigger anyone. And if I am, I'll just pre-record and upload. You know? Because, I mean, I've got the eclipse happening in my third house, which is communication. And honest to God, this has happened every time. Every time. So, I will put a post up and check what you guys want to do. I do have the eclipse videos that I'll be opening up, and it'll tell you what house it's going to fall in. So they are ready. I'll have them launched by the end of the day. Yeah, I know that, Dale, but I mean, even in the community, this, honest to God, this does happen with my channel. Every time Mercury goes retrograde, every time an astrologer says twins are going to come in, then when there's eclipses, and it's what, yeah. You know, with twin flame path, it's a hard one because as emotions fluctuate, whoever the twins are, if they're having a hard time, they'll unsubscribe. So I really need to re-navigate it and see how I'm going to implement that to support you guys. Do you know what I mean? That's why I try to do other content so it's not just twin flame. Because number one, from a twin flame perspective, we do need to be focusing in our life. I mean, we've got friends, we've got bills, you know, we've got these things. And it's part of our ascension path. Some of our destiny is very much linked to the North Node, our own personal North Node, and looking at the transits. So the astrology aspect is there to support us through our ascension. And I try to put that in from a psychic point of view as well, so that we have that support moving forward and we're not just, that's why I'm doing at the moment to allow the energy to play out, you know, to do it every Friday. Hi, MM. But like even this morning, you know, I was a little bit anxious. I'm feeling the same. So is my North Node. You know, and so for me, the astrology is extremely hard because I have Cancer. I've got Cancer moon. So when we had the Cancer Capricorn axis, it was my first to my seventh house, which is what Gemini and Sagittarius are going through. That was during my separation. Juno retrograde, separation happened. Juno direct, reconnection happened. That's why I focus on Juno direct and, you know, Mercury retrograde, 100% already people from the past are coming back. But whoever's meant to come, you directly have a correlating energy with. So it's, you know, just be open to the spontaneity. I mean, after we move through this eclipse, the beautiful thing is we have so many aspects that are in Gemini. It's fun, it's playful, it's upbeat, it's really exciting. I've got North Node in Scorpio. My Venus is in Scorpio. When we had the full moon in Scorpio, OMG, it was not fun. And still, again, I think I did 170 videos. It must be crazy. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, trust me, I understand, just like you guys, but the way to keep grounded is to keep productive. If you don't have purpose in your day, you've got to go grab life. You know, you've got to go find something to fill your soul. Because our cup needs to be full in a sense so that we can usher that energy in towards us. If it's that career you want to go get, you know, go make that happen. If it's just going on a holiday, and really now is the time to spoil yourself a little bit. So over the next few days, nurture yourself. If it means going to get a pedicure, go and get a pedicure. Go get a manicure. Go get your hair done. Probably not around Mercury retrograde. Wait till later. I'd probably ditch surgical procedures at the moment. We're going to, you know, we're almost at Mercury retrograde. Wait till after that kind of retrograde. But this is really going to benefit us. We need to understand that. It's not going to be all doom and gloom, you know. This is actually a release of it. We're already having that new beginning. Our values have changed. Our viewpoints have changed. So the reason I'm saying this is because initially we may feel the glass is half full. And I mean, after the full moon in Scorpio, I was using the ruler analogy because I'd really gone back to that spiritually. I was like, oh my God, I've got that left. I've got to be on purpose, man, you know, because you have to have the connection in with life as well as work while you're going through that. And there was a really good pocket of the journey in separation that for 11 months I didn't see anyone. Maybe I saw my daughter here and there. She'd moved in with her father. I really spent a lot of time doing shadow work. I didn't mix with friends. I did my garden. I walked. I ate vegetarian. And I was really detoxing and clearing the chakras. And I would never advise to do all 7 chakras at once because you're purging. What you're actually doing, it's a little bit like yoga. You know, trained professionals can do that. But what I found in my ascension process, when I was clearing all 7 chakras when I was going to bed, the purge was ridiculous. As well as at one point I did collapse and I was like, wow, you know, because I was really purging through every auric field possible. So it's probably not wise to do such around this time. And, you know, don't feel by any means that you're not safe and you're not protected. You're incredibly safe and protected, probably more so than you actually know. Nobody can affect this, so to speak. It sounds funky, but it will flow. This is what you've got to understand. But your life will flow regardless, whatever you choose. It does come to a point at the end of the journey when you do reach soul union with self, you're very at peace. You're completely able to choose whatever you feel is correct for you. Your Mars is in Cancer too, then you should operate okay with Mars in Cancer because your body will be used to that. You will function more efficiently. Your energy should be used to that. But what's hidden will come up for you. If you have been in a habit of suppressing it, it'll come up. For me, because I've got the Cancer energy, the Libra energy, I know Libras at the moment, what we're learning is to create those healthy boundaries with people. And there can be subjects to do with family coming up where you're putting your foot down and you're like, oh, yeah, I said no, don't poke the fly screen, sort of those things going on. So all of us spiritually may have some area in our life at the moment that really is having a little bit of shake-up, and it won't just be twin flame path, but it'll be 4 twin flame path, if you know what I mean. It's like something's shifting. We're entering a new cycle. And if anything, we're tying up loose ends, where I would say it's a psychological energy of coming to terms with the past. So we could feel initially like we're mourning, and if it was really dreadful, what are we mourning for? Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, go, I don't want that. Bring in the good stuff. You've almost got to look at it from that polarity. I had to look at it like, okay, well, that story probably wasn't so great. Maybe in a way, in certain aspects, I romanticized it, and I'm sure he felt the same as well. And I'm not meaning the connection that we had together, just some of the scenarios that we went through in our lives that did hinder our connection at times. And it wasn't necessarily us that was the problem half the time, but it was when we stripped it back, because it was us actually not maybe having faith in ourselves, creating healthy boundaries, having too much empathy for people around us to the detriment of our health. So we had to learn how to do that. And one could say without apologies, but it isn't that we don't have empathy and understanding. We do have a lot of love and empathy and understanding, but we learnt the hard way. And I think most of you guys can relate to that. We do actually, through this path, learn the hard way, and it's... I can say on the other side of it, I do like myself better. I do. I prefer this version of me than that version. That version was, I don't recognize that version anymore. Oh, tell me about it. My daughter came home the other day and her girlfriend was with her, and she goes, oh, your mum's so pretty. And I tell you, apart from having makeup on, I felt dreadful. I'd been cleaning, working, yesterday I had a 2-hour twin flame session on my website. It was a webinar, which I host now and then. So we did the coaching session there. So after the 2 hours, it was pretty much have lunch, go back in, and I had the 9 videos to record. So I worked most of the day to do that. I had them uploaded by about 10 o'clock my time. And today I've just had to get the house in order. I've had so much to do on the home front. Plus, because I know we're moving into the eclipse, I've done cleaning, gardening, saging. I'm ready to go. We're ushering this good stuff in. Out with the old, in with the new. Have faith spiritually. Out with the old, in with the new. I'm excited. Let's get this show on the road. It's a bit like if we're having a tooth extraction. It's like, let's get this show on the road. Libra hair, just so tired of everything. People, work, bosses, does anything. It does. Look, this is 5 is all about change, right? 2021 is 5. For every human being on the planet right now, it's tough. So Libras have had the shittiest 10 years of their lives, maybe longer. But yes, we are moving out of it. The one thing I can say is we do need to prioritize ourselves at the moment. Because at the moment, the unhealthy boundary is where the 6th house is landing with Pisces, which can make us gain weight due to the fact that we're doing everything. And that's naughty Libra. You're doing it again. Oops, I did it again. Yep, I've gone back to my name is no, my number's no. No, I've got to let it go. I've got my soups. I've been going for walks. Not getting any younger here. But yeah, it's the prioritization of self. And it's actually, make that time somehow. Make that time for yourself. You got lots of growth in the career factor. You've got lots of changes happening with family at the moment. Health-related dynamics, getting everything on track. So yes, it's going to be busy for all of us. Mercury retrograde can bring the busyness, but it can bring beautiful social experiences as well, especially because we do have Jupiter and Pisces. So like I said, it's not all going to be horrible. It's just we've got this anticipation coming up, you know. My lease is up in 3 weeks and still haven't decided the game plan. Well, it can make it more difficult with Mars and Cancer to locate a house. So I'd probably start looking now, doll. Because there can be people actually, houses are going on the market and off the market. If anyone wanted to sell a house now, they would get top dollar. Mercury retrograde and you're having Mars and Cancer, people are fighting for your house. It could be a toad frog and they would buy it, I tell you. Yeah. It surely would. But it will be, you will find that it's few and far in between in locating homes at the moment until next month. We've just been looking. You got 5th house, 4th house. I think the retrograde's happening in the 4th house at the moment, which is probably problematic. And especially if there's other people around you that may be coming in their different ages. And it's like, are we going? Are we staying? It can cause a little bit of conflict as to what the go is going to be, especially with the needs. But as I mentioned, if you only got 3 weeks, I know it's different here. If they tell us we've got 3 weeks, we've got 3 weeks, that's it, you're out without a home. So it doesn't quite work the same in Australia. I don't know where you are, but yeah, over here it's pretty much your lease is ending then. If you get an extension, the rate increases, and it's pretty much daily, and it's really expensive. So you have to have your money to roll over to the next house. It's a bit tedious. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. So anyone else? You got a really low tolerance for stupidity. Yeah, I've been really snappy. And then I've been calm. And that's why I thought getting productive is what's really going to help you at the moment. Get your things done, especially as Mercury goes retrograde. You probably won't have as much time to do things on the home front. You'll probably find, depending on where it's highlighted in your chart, you'll have a lot coming at you. So if you can get it into order where it's not going to stress you out. It's like almost looking for your hairbrush and wondering where the devil it is. It's the little things, when they're misplaced and they're moved about. Getting your daily routine in order. This whole retrograde cycle is really going to give us a hand to do such. I would throw a dart on a map. You're a dark. Well, the thing is, because Libras actually do have it in the 6th house, we do have movement there. Jupiter is in the 6th house, and we have 9th house, I believe, is activated, which is foreign travel. So, yeah, you might find that a lot of people at the moment are deciding during and after this eclipse that they want to move states, they want to move continents. And more than likely towards 2022, a lot of people will. Cool. Yeah, just if you've got the energy, guys, do something. If you don't, go do something nice. Go to a garden centre. If you don't want to be around anyone, just connect with nature. Go to the beach. Get the salt on your skin. Just do something that's very calm and quiet, and try and get your mind off that of what's really, triggering you. And it could be, it's always going to be this way, or do you know what I mean? Because that's going to serve you more than allowing this to take over. So just, go, if we're doing that routine of I'm in the bath again because I've got ascension symptoms, we've all been there. And then we're like, here we go again. We don't want to get into that motion. We don't want to get into that motto of, oh, here we go again. Because we're almost cutting that cord of that cycle so it doesn't continue to repeat. So if you do find you're getting into this, which I'm not going to lie, I did have a daily routine. I would wake up in the morning, my house was cleaned, I'd have my guided meditation, I'd go for my walk, I'd have my protein shake, I was drinking smoothies and protein shakes, I do my live videos, I do my pre-recorded videos, I'd have my organic dinner. I had my routine and it was set each day. I'd shake it up sometimes and do different things. And if I got bored, I'd go for a walk again. I was like, man, if this ascension don't kill me, my body's going to look hot. Like, I am going to walk like the Great Wall of China. Yep. And it was self-esteem based. It was energy. It was removing, the angst and the anger. If you've got time and you don't have things holding you back, leave the house for a bit. If you've got a kid, put your kid in the pram. Go for a power walk. It's going to burn off some of that sacral chakra energy, because the intensity will come from that, as well as the third eye. So when you're busy, you're more productive, right? So you do tend to find, if you're focusing on a task and you're doing things, you're probably not going to purge as much, because you're busy doing a 3D task, apart from if some BS comes at you and you're like, I do beg your pardon. You're then going to get a bit cheesy. But I mean, other than that, if you can connect in with Earth right now and tune into that of what you can control and do something pleasant, you're going to be in a better equipped position to deal with it. I feel you, like I said, because you guys have 1st and 7th house. I had that with the Cancer Capricorn axis. It was hell on earth. And then it was liberating, and I would look so perplexed at people and I'd be like, why are you doing that? Don't tell yourself that every person on the planet is super happy. It's so not true. I mean, it could be, not you can have friends that are in a relationship and you can be looking at them going, but then deep down, if you step back and actually observe, is it a codependent connection? Do you know what I mean? I feel the more I had a viewpoint of connections and I stepped back, I started realizing that I wanted to have a healthy connection. One that was reciprocal, one that was not controlled, one that was not, I don't own you, you can be here if you want. If you don't want to, that's cool too. But also the fact that I had grown enough that I could say, well, hey, maybe that's not for me. Do you know what I mean? And that is our power. It is that you can get to a point that you can just change your mind. And I don't mean that you're going to change your mind. I mean, stop putting so much pressure on yourself. You're a human being just like any other person. The changing of your mind is just you being a human being. It doesn't mean to say you're going to run for the hills or anything to that degree. Things do change on a daily. The one thing I don't like about light benches is you see crumbs everywhere. 3 minutes to the beach. Do you know, I literally had a 5-minute drive to the beach, but I had a lovely pool in the backyard. And I put a gazebo up. I was like, and that was just prior to union. I was like, that's where I had the choice. And I went, you know what? I'm going to have the happiest bloody life out. I bought a gazebo, and it was about 12 metres, but that's Australian kind of measurements. It was extremely large. It was the length of the bloody pool. And I put bush fence on top of it because the marquee kept, blowing off it. I had tables out there, sunbaking lounges. I had my vegetable garden. I was in the Bahamas, man. It was beautiful. I was 10 minutes to the beach if I wanted to. At the end, I would see my mum now and then and my sister. Didn't mix with anyone for 11 months. But, at some point you realise to have your sanity psychologically, you need to connect with human beings. And if you have too much of a routine, you're going to get bored, and the universe is going to shake it up to give you something new. New to do, to laugh, you know what I mean? Like artistic endeavours, something to feed the soul. Yeah, it's like eating hay every day. You can't. You just can't. Like I said, that's why I do the astrology, to keep it fresh for us, to see what else is, benefiting us. For Sagittarius, this is going to be a beautiful transit. And what do I mean by that? It's first house. Your demeanor can be changing. You may be feeling everyone's putting pressure on you at this point. And why are you hounding me for 101 things? It's you're learning, maybe they're actually not, but you think they are. And that's what went through with me. It was like, why does everyone want this and this and this? And that was when the Cancer Capricorn axis was there, which potentially at the moment Cancers and Capricorn could do that, right? That we could be feeling that with Mars and Cancer. But my point is, when I did step back during those transits, I was like, some of the things I did learn was not everything I thought I had to be in a connection actually was. And I was like, whoa, why do I feel I have to do X, Y, and Z? All dreams associated with the retrogrades. Woke up with my dream. Yeah, at the moment, because we have Neptune and Pisces, I've been having a lot of dreams as well. It's very common. So yeah, it's very common, and they're bizarre dreams that sometimes they're a bit malefic. Just come back to your cognitive awareness and clear your crown chakra. But yeah, because we've got Jupiter in Pisces and we've got Neptune in Pisces, we're sort of going up and down. We're going into the Netherland of Scorpio energy, and we're going into the higher octane of Jupiter energy, but it's a mishmash. Yeah. I actually find 5D isn't a 3D. This is what I found. The 3D I found was a safe space. I'm very spiritually connected. When I'm grounded and I'm on purpose in my own life, I'm in a better vibration. When I'm too much in the 5D, I had to look at my spiritual connection, and I realized what I was saying was, and I mean, initially it wasn't something I caused, you know, the psychic downloads were coming in. I was having a lot of 5D communication with Twin, but then through moving forward, focusing on myself, it helped move that path forward. What I did find is when I actually reached a revelation inside myself, and it was like, I can have a relationship on the 3D. In my mind, it was the only place this would be safe is on the 5D. So I had to state to myself, no, it is safe for me to have a 3D relationship. I'm ready. And by saying that, you're then going to manifest that in. But you need to be open. You need to understand that you're safe. You have choices. You have your own circle of concerns. You've learned a lot about yourself. Bless it for what it is. But purpose can be anything to you. It's personal. If I can help people, I will help people. But again, there's helping and enabling, what we learn on the twin flame path. In disability services and community care, they teach you to help, but not to enable. So that was taught to me a very long time ago, because what you do is, if you are helping and helping and helping, that person then will not own their power. That person will lose the tools in their life to be able to look after themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, and just don't feel guilty. It's okay to say, hey, you know, I need to wash my hair, or hey, can't make it to that function because I actually have another appointment. You know, it's actually challenging that adversity. Do you know what I mean? So I had to learn, A, to help but not enable. I then had to also look at my twin flame path and go, okay, am I enabling? Am I preventing a story to occur because I'm in ego and I believe something should be X, Y, and Z? Has nothing to do with me. That has to do with them and they. Step back and let the cards fall. You enable and you're hearing the sob stories, you are allowing that story to remain the same. If you step back and your fear is something might happen to them, this and that might happen, it's like, step back and let it fall. Because you can't do it forever, you know? And while we are in control, we're more in the masculine than feminine. And we, all of us collectively have masculine and feminine. But if you're requiring a masculine to be a masculine, don't dictate, you know, don't get into a point where you're going, you need to do this and need to do that. Because again, that's control related dynamics. And it's almost like, is this going to be a full-time job we'll have to take on? Maybe it's not maintainable. You know, it just depends on the situation you're going through. But these are the things I learned through my experiences. Because it's self-avoidance. Yeah, I did that too. That was when I was like 20. And then I started doing it again. I was like, oi, 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 you're slipping. See, done time. I've done that sort of time. Yes, many times. Yes. Enabled, looked at people as victims. Yeah. All good. Learn from my mistakes. You always know when you've gone off path, guys. You always know, because you kind of step back and you're like, okay, this cake is looking the same. It's looking the same, I tell you. And then when you step back and go, if I wasn't doing X, Y, and Z, would it still be doing what it's doing? Like I said, it is all to do with your thought. And I can't stress this enough. There was one occurrence, which I'll keep completely private, but it was the darndest thing. It was wretched. I hated it. And I remember talking to a spiritual friend who I do coach, and we were talking quite fluidly to do with this situation at the time. And I was like, if I can't do this, I'm going to die. And he said to me, you need to accept it. And I got bitter and angry. So even YILDIZ gets bitter and angry. And I was like, why? And the analogy he was using, which it was only, you know, sometimes coaches, you'll get gurus, they will talk to you in tongue because you're supposed to decipher what that means and reach your understanding. So what my understanding at the time was, and I laughed my head off at myself, it was like, accept it. Accept it means not you have to do it. It means acknowledge what it is. You're like, wow, that's bad. Whatever you want to call it. That's difficult. It is what it is. Yeah, it is. And then let go. And you know, in 24 hours it shifted and I was shocked. Shocked. I was like. And then on a second occasion when I did the same practice, where it was accept my own needs, just embody it, and accept something of what it looks like, and stood back 4 hours. Everything is energy. And sometimes we can be looking under our armpits and going, no, they haven't ascended and I've done more work. And it's like, then where's the movement? I said the same and I wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. And then as soon as we look back on your path, I always say this so that you can tell if I'm lying to you or not. Look back how many times you've gone, and then you've just gone, and you've focused on yourself and you fully embody it. Sod this. Hello. And I'm like, unbloody believable. Why? Because you let go. You haven't let go. You're controlling it in your aura, in your ego, in your thought, in your intent, in your victim consciousness when you're looking at them and you think they need to do something and you may be enabling them. Don't enable them. Don't. You can have this time frame or that time frame. We can make it as hard, and it's always hard. But where many twins are at the moment are pre-union. Pre-union. So close. So close. I'm telling you. And for my sake, so that you believe me later, please touch base with me. I'm lucky that I do have 5 at the moment that are in communication, moving, dealing with each other. One's got married. I put a post up on YouTube and that's still, he mentioned that he was, Gunshot Kelly, he mentioned twin flame in it. I hate it when it does that. Good grief. See, that camera goes into oblivion like it's... Goodness me. If my head gets any bigger on that thing. Beam. Don't you love it during Mercury retrograde? You find all these new features on your phone you never knew you had. Okay, I just tapped it and we have normal, beam, blush, pop. What? It hasn't loaded. Never mind. Who knows? What else does it have? Glamour. That sounds dodgy. 8mm. Okay. Document. Sepia. Well, I'll be darned. Who said technology wasn't great? And now it's just, it looks like a bloody tire on a thing. Any questions while I'm here? I just wanted to come and check on you. Okay? Because I've been where you've been. It sucks. It's going to be okay. Okay? It is going to be okay. Don't panic. Breathe. And I would say, this is a masculine purge, by the way. FYI. This is going to affect the masculines. Because it's in a masculine sign. Yes, obviously, we all have masculine and feminine. But predominantly, I can tell you, we already move through a lot of the feminine signs at the moment. So who's going to be kicked the most is probably the poor masculines right now. And the reason I can say that is because I did my clearing. And because I've been where they've been. Yep. Away from ego. At times I could see where maybe I had been in victim consciousness. Where maybe I should have owned my power. And been in my own divine masculine to handle some situations. Healthy boundaries. Being on purpose and mission. Saying no. Bloody phone calls at 1 o'clock in the morning. No. Call me tomorrow. Take me out for a coffee. I ain't got time for that. And people respect you more. They do. They'll look at you and go, wow, that person's got self-esteem. Hi, Jen. Did I trigger you earlier today? I'm on here because of that post. I'm like, okay, twins are triggered. I thought it was the darndest thing, personally, right? Because I'd gone on to this video and it was Machine Gun Kelly and I just randomly played it. And he announced he'd like to thank his twin, Soul. And I was like, what? Wow, it's really got out there these days, right? Yeah, doll, I love you. I'm like, oh boy. But twin soul? Yeah. Yeah. I was perplexed. I was like, wow. Anywho, I've given you my tips at the moment for how to get grounded of this eclipse. Tell me how it all goes for you guys. So I am doing a webinar on the website. I love you too, sweet. So if you do want to come join us, it's on the 27th. There's still spaces. We're going to do a guided meditation. We're going to talk to each other, check in with each other. And it's a 2-hour session. So if you want to come join us, we can talk about different bits and pieces. Especially if you got nothing to do, come on down. If you want to cry, you can bloody cry. If you want to scream, you can scream. Maybe we can get up and do some funky dances or something, you know? You know, get on down. Just remember, you're beautiful, all of you. Who wouldn't want to be with you? Honest. You're doing work on yourself. You're getting your lives together. You know? Just think about it. Remember how we used to put DM up here? You guys need to psychologically put yourself there. Stop looking at yourself as the underdog. You're not the bloody underdog. You're not the underdog. There's never been a competition. Never. It's coming around. Okay? I'm going to talk to you guys later. And I'll see you live. I'm bad, Well, it's over here at the moment because I can't. I used to on YouTube, but you can't. You can't do that here no more. I have to be a nerd on YouTube. Love yous all. Take care.